Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and today we're going to start with something new. There are 10 motivated sellers currently in the Villages. If you would like me to send you information on these 10 properties, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. There are a couple of interesting things to note about the data this week. I will cover them when we get to them. But before I do, let me just make the point that if you are interested in finding a good deal here in the Villages as a buyer, or you're trying to maximize your return as a seller, please reach out to me, DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Two things to note. First, make sure that you check the date on the show. We produce this show every Monday. Make sure you're getting the most recent information. Secondly, all of this information is drawn from the multiple listing service, the MLS, does not include any information from the village's own internal listing service, the VLS. I'm going to start doing a second weekly show where I'm going to take a look at what I think what some of the best deals in the villages are. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to be alerted when that goes live. Later this week, we'll be taking a look at what I think the single best deal in the villages might be. So let's begin by taking a look at total listings. This week, there are 294 active listings, ranging in price from just over $151,000 to just under $1.9 million. This is the highest number of listings we've seen and well above what we saw a year ago. Here we can see a breakdown of these listings broken down by price segment. As usual, we look at the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range. This week there are 169 properties. Last week there were 170. The week prior to that, 159. The week prior to that, 162. And the week prior to that, 173. This is the median listing price per square foot for all of these listings. We're at a new low of $265.15. This is the lowest number that we've seen over the last year. Here we look at the median time on the market for all listings, currently 53 days, the highest number that we've seen, and well above the sub 20 number that we saw almost a year ago. Here we look at new listings and pending sales. This gives us an idea as to how much inventory is being added and how much is being taken from the market. This week, the number is 25 new listings and 25 homes when pending. The blue bar on the graph is new listings and the orange bar is pending home sales. Breaking down these new listings by price segment, they range in price from $229,000 to just under $950,000. In the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, there were 11 new listings. Last week there were 26. The week prior to that, 9. The week prior to that, 8. And the week prior to that, 15. And we come to our first interesting data point. This is the median time on the market for the pending home sales. The median time on the market for the properties that went pending over the last 7 days was 17. But what's interesting is that of the 25 properties that went pending, 9 of them went pending within 8 days of being listed. This is a look at what the per square foot price was for the properties that went pending over the last 7 days, $250. Right in the middle of the range we've been seeing recently. And here we come to our second interesting point. This is the number of homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days. They numbered 16. They ranged in price from $145,000 to just over $870,000. Of the properties that sold, of these 16 properties, 8, half of the properties sold and closed after only being on the market for less than 7 days. A closer look at the properties that sold over the last 7 days. Once again, we look at the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 range. Over the last 7 days, 8 properties sold. Previous 7 days saw 7. Previous 7 saw 19. Previous 7, 13. And the 7-day period prior to that, 16. Here's a look at the price per square foot on the properties that sold and closed. Over the last 7 days, it was $270 a square foot. This is the higher end of the range that we've seen since the beginning of April of last year. And here's a look at how long properties that sold and closed over the last 7 days were on the market. The median time is 17. This is definitely lower than we saw recently, and it's worth restating that half closed after being on the market for less than 7 days. And as usual, we end by taking a look at what percentage of properties are currently listed for less than the original listing price. Once again, we are under 50%, 48.64%. This means that almost half of all the properties listed have decreased their asking price from the original listing price. Looking at what the percent decrease is, 4.26 is the median. What this means is that of all listings, there's a median decrease of over 4.25% for all properties listed. Keep in mind these are lagging because as new properties enter the market, they're entering the market at what owners estimate current values to be as opposed to what they thought they were a year ago. So that ends this week's look at the Villages real estate market. If you have any interest in buying or selling a home in the Villages, would like to find a good deal, or would like to maximize your return as a seller, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to answer any questions you have. Similarly, if you have any questions about the Villages generally, feel free to reach out. Hope to hear from you. Take care.